On Frankie's command, I guess. Yeah, not yet. We've got a few different parts. Thanks for the great. It's great when Frank preaches and the cricket's singing there. And I'm Frank, and I like being a part of Grace Church. I've been here for almost coming up to 2 decades, so that's pretty cool. Love Grace Church. It's home. As I said, 2 parts. We're doing a youth groupy thing, so I'm just sharing you a bit of our vision and what's been going on at youth group. But then I've got 4 of our many amazing leaders coming down. We're just going to ask them some questions, and you get to hear that. So we're hoping, I believe that if you have an open heart and open mind to what God's will be doing something in your life and meeting you where you're at. So I'm really excited by that. Hopefully you can leave here knowing God more, being motivated, encouraged to go out there and spread His love and good news. So let me just open in prayer. I know we've been praying a lot, but Heavenly Father, You are good. I just ask that Your Spirit would just flow from this building, from the front to the back, Lord. Just open up our hearts and our minds to what You can say to every single one of us individually, God, to where we're at in our life right now, God. That You would give us what we need, Lord. Give us courage, confidence, opportunity, God, to spread Your love, Your light to the ends of the earth. In Your mighty name, amen.
Amen.
As a youth group thing, I just thought I'd do a quick game. It's called Split or Steal. Okay, so we've only done this game once at youth group. It's a bit of a hit. So I'm going to explain the rules and I get 2 volunteers. It does require chocolate.
Okay.
So,
sounds good.
4 bars of chocolate. Okay, 2 people. You come down and you get 10 seconds to basically state your case to your opposing opponent of what you're going to do. If it is a split situation at the end, the 4 chocolates, each competitor will walk home with 2 bars each. If it is a split steal, the person that wrote steal walks home with all 4, which is a pretty good deal too. However, if both go steal and try and blindside each other, I keep the chocolates as well, so that's cool for me. So you can, this is a game where it may come across like you're lying. You can say, in your 10 seconds, you might say you're going to split, and then you might write down steal, or you might say you're going to steal because you want it all, and then the other might, take pity and write down split. So then at least you get 4, and you might write down split as well. So there's a little bit to it, so I need 2 volunteers. Phil Ling, thanks mate, and Ashley, brilliant. Thank you for coming down. Give a round of applause. They don't come all day. They're coming. They put their hand up straight away. They were very keen. When I said chocolate, they just stood straight up in their seat. Does it make sense, gentlemen? Does the game make sense?
Absolutely not.
Okay, absolutely not. Okay, Phil, Ashley, you're going to have 10-15 seconds to tell each other what you're going to write down on your piece of paper. After you've both said your case, you'll be able to write down the word split or the word steal. Okay, if you both write split, that 4 chocolate goes to 2. But if you write split, because you want to be a nice guy, but Ashley writes steal, all four bars go to Ashley. But if you both write split, I keep the chocolates. Does that make sense?
Not really.
Not really.
You're too old.
You're not, it involves chocolate, so you've got to focus right now. Alright. Phil, what are your thoughts? Are you thinking about splitting, stealing? You can state your case, but then what you write down doesn't have to be what you verbally say.
Well, he's a university professor, so he's got far more education than me, so I'm going to go split.
You're going to go split. You're going to be nice. Split, okay, fair enough. Ashley, how are you feeling?
He knows me pretty well. I'm thinking what would Phil think, and then I'm trying to do the psychology.
Yeah, that's right.
And this is really deep. We've known each other a long time. I'm going still.
You're going to take steal.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. So you're just going to take all the candy for yourself.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm greedy.
Alright, you're greedy, good. So we're going to see what happens here. So you have to write down either split or steal. Standing, you don't have to write down what you said, nor do you, Ashley, actually.
All right.
But coming out saying steal is a bit of a big step. So you got let's say 5 seconds. 4-letter word. I think it's 4 letters. 5 steal. Alright, so this is where it gets interesting. Alright, so on the count of 3 you're going to show them. Obviously, you have to say, I'm saying them both. Okay, 3, 2, 1, and show. Show each other, show everyone. You both went split. I was wanting a blind side. 2 for you. If you're splitting them, 2 for you. send it too. All right, I'll take that. You take your chocolate, enjoy. Don't eat it all at once.
There you go.
Chocolate and chocolate. This is what we do at Youth Group. We just give things away a lot all the time.
My second favourite.
Yeah, good. So, all right, getting serious, just a bit of fun. Yeah. So we're focusing on Youth Group, and we do give things away. We do games. We love doing what we're doing. So the first part, I just want to give you, fill you in. What's been going on at Youth Group, our vision, our heart, and things like that. So as you can see, we are mixing it up. Coming a panel coming up soon, but. Matt Giroux spoke last week on the salt of the earth. And the salt of the earth is really definitely something that we are aspiring to do at Grace Youth. The team and I, we want to spread God's love, God's hope to the ends of the earth. Our hashtag, our motto is You Matter. Because we believe that every single person needs to know in their heart that they matter. They are cared for, they have a place, they have a purpose. And I love it how Matt was just saying, it's just sprinkling a little bit of a grain of salt here and a grain of salt there. Can we just make a round of applause for David coming in on his 10K run up the mountain? But I really like what Matt says. Putting salt brings out what's already there. It's bringing out the flavour that's already in the item you're cooking as such. And every single person has so much to give. They are made by God. They've got spiritual gifts and talents that they can use. They've got a purpose and a plan for them. And all we're trying to do as a youth group is just put salt on that. It's already there. It's a really easy thing in some regard. But in Matthew 5:14-16, just to remind us of that verse, it says, you are like the light of the world, a town built on a hill. Cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on the stand and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. So that sets it up. As I said, Matt Giroux's message last week set me up perfectly to come in, and basically that is our purpose, that is our vision. So God has put on our heart the lost people. We are running a youth group seeking the lost to get them in. We've been seeing an amazing growth numerically, which is really cool. So we sometimes have about 50 people, like at 6:30 before we start at 7 here, we get up to 100 people, and we're just growing at a very rapid rate. And it's very exciting to see what God is doing in them spiritually also. But we as a youth group want to meet these people where they are at. So we want to create a program where we can get to know them, where we can have meaningful conversation with them, where we can know them on a personal level, and also we're talking about God. We're praying also at youth group, and we're planting these seeds. And the testimonies and the journey that these people have been here, coming along to GY for years and years and years, and we're having these conversations about their home life and their struggles at school and this and relationships. And it's really great that we are almost like a refuge of hope and a place where they can come, feel comfortable and secure, where they can know God. We're normalising Jesus in Clarence Plains. Because the more I get to know these people that are coming along, the more I realise, hang on, they're searching. They're searching, and they're going from addictions to relationships to parties to try and find that satisfaction, try and find that purpose of life. And that's normal if you don't know Jesus. That's normal. They're searching and looking. But we're here going, hey, there's another guy. There's a way where you can feel satisfied, where you have a purpose and plan for your life, and you've got something to give. So I want to encourage you as well, before we get into the panel and things, that you don't have to be a part of Grace Youth Group to be applying these things. That there are lost people out there that need Jesus in your every single day life. And there are people that know Jesus that need to be encouraged, and that you could be that encouragement by them. It might even be your family, might be your colleagues at work, your sporting teams, people you come across from buying lunch to coffees to whatever it might be. We have an opportunity to go and be the light of the world, to go and be the salt. So I want you to look at this from a perspective of, I don't want this to be, wow, Grace Youth, awesome and amazing things they're doing. I want you to look at this and be encouraged and motivated that when we come together, we can do amazing things and spread the love and light of God. So our vision is the lost. We are here for the lost, and it's really great to be part of that. So Matthew 25:42 chapter 25, verse 42 to 46 says, "For I was hungry and you didn't feed me. I was thirsty and you didn't give me a drink. I was a stranger and you didn't invite me into your home. I was naked and you didn't give me clothing. I was sick and in prison and you didn't visit me." Then they will reply, "Lord, when did we ever see you hungry or thirsty or a stranger or naked or sick in prison and not help you?" And he answered, "I tell you the truth, when you refuse to help the least of these, my brothers and sisters, you were refusing to help me. And they will go away in eternal punishment, and the righteous will go into eternal life." So, when we were looking at Grace Youth, the vision, the culture we're wanting to create, we want to create a culture where people are loved, where they're reminded that they matter. But I went to the man himself. What did Jesus do? What sort of people did he get around? What sort of people did he seek? He went from town to town and he was looking for the lost. He was looking for the people in need for Jesus. And he wasn't mucking around. He wasn't doing it like, "Oh, I just do an 8-hour job" or anything like that. He committed his life to it. He was sold out on spreading the good news, sold out on spreading hope and faith that there is a God who loves them. So to give you a quick snapshot of what's been happening at Youth Group, we've got Aidan, who deserves a round of applause because he's been doing all our social stuff. He's amazing. He's put together a quick video. Give him a round of applause. He's done an amazing job. But just look at the screen. If you're not on social media, you don't follow us or anything like that, and what I'm saying is like, yeah, cool, whatever, you will get to see it visually and be encouraged. Let's hope. So thanks, guys. That practice Sam Ryan, by the way. I did not practice. There it is. So I just thought you guys can have something visual of what's going on at a Friday night. We do a range of activities and a range of things, but what is amazing, like I get emotional looking at that video myself and just seeing the people that are coming in, and it's just an opportunity to spread salt. It's an opportunity to spread the love of Jesus in their conversation. Where we have people that are growing up and they don't know what a normal, working, loving family environment may be like, that they don't know what it's like to be supported, cared for and encouraged. And we just want to be giving that in abundance at Grace Youth. We just want to be known for loving people and caring for them. But there's a few things that I just want to touch on. 3 quick points about the journey of Grace Youth and where we're at now that I want you to be encouraged by. So it wasn't long ago that God put on my heart. He said, "Frank, you're going to burst. Your Grace Youth is going to grow. You need to prepare. You need to get ready." So I left that kind of moment and I went to the team and said, "We're having a day. We did a lot of logistical stuff out the back and sorting things out and building. But then we also had a meeting around getting ready and prepared physically and emotionally and mentally, logistically with our program to have the harvest, I guess, have these people come in because the floodgates have opened." We've been praying to God this prayer for a while. And I guess the challenge I'm asking you is, what are you praying for right now in your life? What are you asking of God? Because when we ask of God, often He can deliver. And I want to remind you of that verse in the Bible that says, pray relentlessly. Continue to pray, and because He knows your heart, and I think that's really powerful as well. So we prayed a prayer, and it got answered, and we're seeing these people come in. So whatever your mission field is, pray into that space. The second thing is, and I'm just going real short and sharp here, because I want to give as much time for the panel as we can. But it is do the mission with like-minded people. Can I just get all youth leaders just to stand up very quickly now, please? So we've got them from worship team at the back and the sound desk and some that can't be here. And they do deserve another round of applause. I know your hands are probably tired. You guys can sit down. But do the mission with like-minded people. Like the mission that God has for Grace Youth is far too big for one person. I say to our youth team all the time, we are only going to grow as much as we will grow, as much as we will allow us to grow our youth group. So God, we're praying for leaders, and God's provided leaders with the growth of the youth group as well. So God's been amazing in blessing us. All the glory goes to Him. He's just been phenomenal. But we've had to get ourselves around like-minded people. And some missions in life are a one-man job. Hey, go buy someone a coffee. Hey, go and help that person out. You know, they've had something going on in their personal life and they just need to have you over there for a cup of tea. And that's just a one-man mission. That's a one-man job. But I want to challenge you also is what missions in your life that God's calling you to do might have some dust and cobwebs on that we need to dust off. We need to rally the troops. And we need to get around, because it's bigger than just one person. It's bigger than just two people. And I really love being a part of Grace Church, because we've got opportunity left, right and centre to go and reach and serve. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And my last one is response. It responds, because we've been challenged at Grace Youth. We have grown so fast that it's not normal anymore. Like, we've gone from 50 to 80 to 100, and they just keep on coming in. Like, it's crazy. Like, I can't describe it. They just come down the gate, get dropped off, cars after cars, and we've grown so fast that we've really struggled to adapt, because it's just been so rapid. So in a way, we've got a lot of challenge with us. I wouldn't necessarily use the word opposition, but I am, because in some callings, we do come across opposition and challenge, but the same response that needs to be said. I've been telling our team left, right and centre, when we keep our eyes on Jesus, when we fix our heart on Him, we can't lose. We can't lose. So whatever's going on at Grace Youth and this growth and the challenges we're experiencing with culture and trying to meet these kids where they're at and speak God into them, because their egos are so big, sometimes it's really hard to get to them. But those challenges, if we keep our eyes on Jesus, if we keep our hearts on Jesus, we cannot lose. And I know what it's like to live life and feel like you're under the pump and that it's all going to custard and that you just can't see hope anymore. You can't see the light and the purpose of it. But let me just encourage you to keep your eyes on Jesus. If there's only one thing you do that. Because when you do that, you cannot lose. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Great. So I've got the panel coming down. So I've got my beautiful wife who is just amazing. Come down. She is amazing. And I've run youth group. This is the second time, I guess, over the course of my life done it. The first time was kind of solo. This time is basically a team effort with Sarah as well. She's just a machine. Got Sam Blake coming down. We've got Erin Catuli coming down. We've got Hannah Denman coming down. And we've got
Isaac
right at the back coming down. And I'm going to move this out of the way. And these guys come down. Isaac, I'll grab your chair. Alright, so we've got questions. I think we're getting a microphone, right, Aiden? Isaac, are we getting a microphone?
Yep.
Yeah, cool. Right, take a seat. So, as I said, Grace Youth is and will grow as much as our team will kind of grow with that and before that in preparation. We've just got an amazing team who have a heart for God. We're going to be asking them some questions, and I really hope that you are able to get something out of their answers today, be encouraged to go out to your workplaces, to your life, because there's opportunity everywhere. We've just got to have open hearts and eyes to what God's doing. So, the first question for the panel, you guys, is just, I guess, state your name for the people that don't know you. And what do you love about GY? is a pretty straightforward question. So we'll start with you, Erin, and work our way down.
Okay, I'm Erin, as Frank said. One of the main things that I love about GY is that it's just such a community, and all the people there, it just feels like such a safe space for people to come. And I really love, like, just the general vibe that we have going with the young people, and I feel like they can come and be accepted, and I just think that's really valuable.
Right, so I'm Sam, for those of you who don't know me, and I'd say something I love is just, so we're there for everyone else, obviously setting up and whatnot, and just seeing the youth, like, they come half an hour early, smiles on their faces, and they just want to be there. And I think that's just something that really touches me, because I mean, we put so much effort in, and to see the reward that they enjoy it so much is really awesome.
Good.
Yeah, hello. My name's Isaac, for those who don't know me, and I don't know you. But one of the things that I really love about is, like these guys just said, the community and the love and the family and just the all-round vibe that it gives off. And like Sam was saying, they come in and they're smiling and happy, and they don't even have to talk to their friends. They can talk to someone they don't know, and they can do all that sort of stuff. But it's just building a really good culture where kids from like broken-ish homes or good homes, they can mingle together, and they don't feel judged, and they don't feel like they can't do anything and that sort of thing.
Important.
Hi, I'm Hannah. And yeah, my answer is quite similar. Like, I just love how it's such a loving, caring and safe environment for the youth to come to, and it's such an encouraging environment too.
Yeah, that's really cool. And I think something that's really cool about our youth is that we have like all these different groups of young kids that you put them in a school, they probably wouldn't talk to each other. In fact, they'd probably bag each other out and there'd be problems. But put them in the environment youth group, somehow they all just get along with each other, they interact with each other, and it's not that real cliquey sort of environment. So that's something really cool we have as well. So, Hannah, as someone who is naturally reserved, how have you lived out your gifts in such a busy and big youth setting?
I'm going to read from my notes because I'm not very good at public speaking. But yeah, I've never been an outgoing person, but I guess being part of the youth team and learning to trust more in God has grown me, and I'm a lot more confident than I used to be when I first started. I think because of that experience, it has made me think more about the youth who feel the same way, and like trying to get around them more, and build like relationships with them. Like,
I love that, Hannah. I love it, because sometimes we go, God, how are you going to use my gift? Like, I've only got this to offer. But that's all he wants us to offer. He just wants us to use that. That's a vital part. And it's been amazing watching Hannah just go from strength to strength within that as she does. So well done, awesome stuff, Hannah, with everything you're doing. Sammy, what's your heart? You're going to say this better than me. What's your heart behind the youth of Clarence Plains and the people we're getting in, mate? Because you've been in this gig for a long time, and you're I would say the first one here, but that's not always the case. But he's getting better. He for so much long, he thought setup started at 6 p.m. and it was 5:45, and then he eventually found out that's the funniest thing ever. Anyway, Sammy, back to the question. What's your heart, mate, for the people we're getting in and the youth of Clarence Plains?
Well, I mean, for me, as Frank said, I've been in it for a long time. So since grade 7, I started going to youth, and it was really special for me. Like, I had Luke as my leader for most of it, and he just grew me as a Christian, I feel, and it's just an amazing journey. It's like put me where I am today, and yeah. So it's just giving back to that. So I want to do that for other people, and yeah, it's fulfilling almost, knowing that you're helping people with their journey with God, and it's just awesome. I just love that I'm a part of that. Yeah.
That's awesome. Erin, what has made you want to be a leader at GY when you could simply just still be coming as a youth?
Well, I think it's a bit similar to what Sam said about wanting to give back to the youth, because I'm still young, but when I was younger and I was going to youth, like I started probably end of year 6, came along, and then I've been going from there since, and it was really just if I didn't have youth, like I don't know where I'd be, because it was like if I'd been having a really tough week, and my friends were going through a lot of really difficult stuff when we were younger, and I was always someone they could talk to, and I didn't really have anyone in my life as such until I came to youth who I could speak to and like get help from, and it was just a really nice way to de-stress at the end of the week. I'd have someone who like Sarah, or like it used to be Anna and other Sarah as well, and it was just really like, it was just so great to be able to come and talk to people and have them understand and have them give me like insight and wisdom into my life. And I guess I really just want to be able to be that for someone else going in the future. So yeah, that's why I do it.
Awesome, Erin. Isaac, Mr. Brett, you're a full-time worker, mate, so I know you work hard. He's a scientist, in case you didn't know. You're a real-life scientist. And no doubt you've got a social life, which is great to be a part of. So I guess why are you adding GY on top of it? Like your plate is already full. Why? Why GY?
It's very similar to other answers already, but like, it's part of it is a lot of perspective. Like, I came from my dad was a pastor, so I grew up in a Christian home, going to church all the time, all that sort of stuff. And you get used, we never like had heaps of money or anything, good enough to get by, all that sort of thing. And then you come here and you see these youth come from broken homes, they're fighting with their parents all the time, half of them can't afford to eat food and all this sort of stuff. And it's to just give a little bit of belief and love and family atmosphere for this group of people. And it's a lot like that song, I Speak Jesus. That's what we're doing to these people. We're speaking Jesus over their anxieties, their depressions, their mental health, their just physical well-being, and basically all parts of their life, and that can be really rewarding.
Yeah, right on. And I'm too a full-time worker with kids and some social life. Like, it's the highlight of my week. Like, I look forward to Grace Youth so much and what we're doing there, and that's awesome, Isaac, because I really think that these youth coming through, these young people, they need older role models and leaders, and I just love that we've got a few key people that are really not hanging around within the youth team, but just being obedient to the calling that God has for them, being part of the GY family, because it's needed. That these young people coming in need role models, so that's good. Sarah.
Back to Hannah. You invest a lot into Connect groups. Why are they so important? And what do you aim to get out of your Connect group for the young?
I think they're important because it's, I guess, a good opportunity to build relationships with like people around the same age and do life together. And I think, like be able to talk about like more of the deeper stuff, like about God and that. And yeah, just be in a safe environment where they can trust each other and encourage each other in that.
Yeah.
And by doing it more, like that becomes more comfortable.
Yeah.
And our Connect groups are such a key element of what we do, because especially now that we are so big in numbers, if we don't have that smaller broken down group where people can really connect and build relationships on that deeper level, then we are really missing out on something. So they're so vital to our youth group and to our young people. So yeah, Hannah's been really great at leading one of our Connect groups, and yeah, it's really good.
That's it. Our youth group is more than a Friday night, so we do that every week, and it's great. So, Erin, being a senior pastor's daughter, and growing up in a Christian home from the get-go, and I can, in some case, relate. But how have you owned your own faith journey as you've gotten older?
Well, okay.
She was nervous about this one.
I am very.
She is.
I'm very glad that it's not here.
He did tell me to record it. Make sure it's recorded, so you can say
yeah, well, he
that.
told me to make sure it's recorded, and I was like, I'll just cut this bit out. I'm not going to slander him. It's okay. Well, I mean, basically, when you're growing up in a Christian home, and specifically, like my dad's a pastor and everything, it's kind of, it can become like the expected thing, you know, like you're going to go to church every week, like this is just what you do. And I guess you could kind of just fall into that routine where you're just kind of like a Sunday Christian and you just come along and like you do what's necessary and stuff. But I guess it wasn't until I had like a few real experiences with God, like at youth conferences and things like that. And also just like at home, one time I can remember really vividly, it was like not a great week and I'd just gone outside and I was sitting outside in the ground and I was just talking to God and I just felt like so at peace and I was like, well, if I'm going to do this journey with God, I'm going to like fully commit to it and I want to help people be able to do it as well. So that's kind of how...
That deserves a round of applause.
Yes.
And I think that's a really good answer for all of us, but you're responsible for your relationship with God.
Yeah.
No one else.
Yeah.
You own that. You don't need anyone's permission to put on a worship song or to pray or anything like that. You need to own it. Like growing up, I had a similar, I just remember taking a dog for a walk and I just got down on my knees and said, there you go, God. You know, like I had an encounter at youth camps and other things, but you're in the driving seat with your relationship with God. No one else can do it for you. So you don't need to wait for anyone to put up their hand, or if that's you, or to put on a worship song at home, or to pick up your Bible. That's on you, and I really encourage you to do those things. Samuel, you're young, very social, with lots of hobbies. So it's giving up your Friday night. Friday night's kind of known as like the social night, like end of the big week, winding down, and coming to youth group on a Friday night to lift heavy things and setting up, and then having the energy to run around 100 people and love them, and then to pack up. That's a bit of a task. So I guess what keeps you going, and why do you give up your Friday night when you do have options elsewhere?
Yeah, so start off, I'd say the reason that I can do it and I don't feel like it's a choice just because I love doing it. Like, there's just amazing people there. Our team makes it so easy. We're also encouraging and loving of each other, and Frank's been a great mentor for me personally, which has helped me the whole way. And also just, it's a great opportunity, I find. So it's an opportunity for me to serve God, and as I kind of relayed back to before, like, I just get to love people, and because I've been loved, I suppose it just, I'm just putting back to what was put into me.
Yeah, that's really awesome. And I think that's key with where we serve as well. If we do something that we love, that God's put on our heart, it doesn't become this chore or burden upon us, because we're all really different. God's given us different gifts and talents, and if we use them for God, He's going to bless us in that as well. So that's a really good example, Sam. So back to Isaac. We've talked about being a leader and how it's about serving other people. But what has God done in your life through your role as a youth leader?
Well, one of the main things was what I said before about that perspective. Not everyone's like you. Everyone comes from different places, so you can't assume anything about anyone because you don't know where they're from. You don't know what they've been through. You don't know how they got here or where they're going or anything like that. But another one that's really interesting is I've had to sort of grow myself, because sometimes you get a young person come up and ask a really left field question that you did not expect whatsoever, and you're like, I don't know that answer. And I think it's important to, if you don't know, go and find out for them, and then come back the next week or the next month or whatever you see the next, and then, oh, remember that time you asked me this? There's the answer. And it builds my knowledge, because I didn't know that answer. Two, it can build their knowledge because in their relationship with me or with other people, because like, oh, they actually care. They went and found out and they gave me the answer. And I'm sure in school, when you ask a question and the teacher comes back with an answer the next day, you're like, oh, they're paying attention to what I'm saying. That's really good. So yeah, it builds that in me. I think that was a question, I can't remember. But yeah, just keep rambling. It's fine. So it's forced me to grow in that, both sort of spiritually in that way. If they ask a left field question, I need to go find out. And you can only lead people, like Frank was saying earlier, you can only lead people to where you are. You can't send them forward, because then they're just venturing in the wilderness basically and they have no idea what they're doing. So if you want to lead them and teach them, you have to be at least one step, preferably 2 or 3, ahead of where they're going. And if you've been through those experiences, then you can guide them. Oh, this was my experience, yours might not be the same, but this helped me, maybe you could try that. So I think keeping that just personal journey moving forward so that others can follow behind is really good.
Lovely. One of the things that I get out of it as you're answering, I'm thinking, is that we're doing it in a team. So when I'm down, or when I'm tired, or when I've got a lot going in my life, these guys pick me up, they keep me going, they encourage me. And I think it goes back to that second point I just touched on way earlier, which was, you know, get people around you, like-minded, do the mission together, because it does often, a lot of missions require more than one person, but just, you know, these guys pick me up, they keep me going, they motivate me, encourage me, and everything else, and that's a good dose that I get out of that. All right, a finishing question for all of you. Could you share one highlight/face story with a young person you've had a relationship with at Grace Youth? So whether that be a highlight or something spiritual, anything, you can start. Isaac, you hold the mic so you can go for it.
I've got the power.
Yeah.
There are obviously plenty of highlights and faith stories and stuff, and any time a young person asks about Jesus or something that we've said, that's always a massive highlight, whether it be those left field questions or it's just like, who is Jesus? And you're like, oh, I can answer that one, I know that one. So that's always awesome. And then there are other times where like young people have started coming to our Connect groups and they're just really against the whole church, youth, anything to do with church, they're just really against it. But then after they get to know you a couple of times, they're like, oh, it might not be that bad. And then they start coming to youth and you're like, oh, that's cool. Like, didn't think that was going to happen. And then after a while, they come for a few months and then maybe this church thing ain't so bad. And always seeing that sort of thing is really encouraging, just to keep it going.
Yeah, brilliant. Left or right, you choose. Go, Sam.
Alright, so when I saw this question, there's this one kid that came to mind. His name's Nathan. I hope he doesn't mind me calling him out if he sees this.
He'll love it if we don't know it, yeah.
But well, a lot of the time, like, we have the stuff at youth, and then they sort of just, we send them off almost, and then they're doing their own thing again until next week when we see them again. But this kid Nathan, so we had an all-in night, which was, we had worship music and Frank did a word, and so I think he sent Frank the video,
Yeah.
and he's at home, and he's got the worship music going, and he's singing along to it and just grooving, and it was just really awesome just seeing that, knowing that what we're doing here is also having impact in their personal lives. And yeah, and I mean, even a couple of weeks later, Nathan comes up to me and he goes, oh, Sam, we should go fishing sometime. I was like, oh, like, it just really touched me. I was like, the fact that he sees me as someone that he can do something like that with, yeah, which is really cool.
Yeah, right. Love it. Awesome. Aaron.
I don't have so much of a specific person or anything. I just have more of a general story. I don't really know how I'm phrasing this. But basically, just a lot of the girls who come along, they're very closed off. They don't really want to tell you about their lives or anything in general. And just getting around them every week, and even if I'm just talking to them, like, what do they enjoy? What do they like? Their hobbies, and I find things in common, and then you remember them and you talk with them the next week. And I feel like you don't realise how much it actually impacts them to have someone remember that, and then in the future when they're struggling with things, they feel like they have a connection and a relationship with me, and they feel comfortable coming up and asking for help or talking to me and kind of opening up. And I just feel like that's something really special and that we do well, building connections at Grace.
Yeah, it's always a success story. We're like, we go deeper in a relationship with these guys and they trust us more, but it is a long journey, growing friendships. So let me encourage you in your mission field, just don't give up. You're planting that seed, and sometimes it takes a lot longer to sprout than others, but keep planting the seed, because when that sort of stuff happens, it's amazing. Hannah.
Mine's quite similar to Sam's story. One of the young girls at youth recently became a Christian, and it's just been good, encouraging her on that journey. But we had on the day conference, we had like a music session where they could come and sing, or like play an instrument or sing, like, and we did like Waymaker. And a bit afterwards, like she sent us a video of her like singing along to Waymaker, and it was just great to see. Like she has such a passion for singing, and her
Yeah, it's really awesome. And yeah, we just love being part of GY. There's so much fruit coming out of it, and God has really got his hand over what we're doing. And it's just so great being a part of these young people's lives and seeing the gradual change. And I think that's important to remember, as we've said, that it is a gradual change. People don't come in the doors and then they're a different person the next week. It's the consistent relationship, the consistent, as Isaac said, of speaking Jesus into their lives. Yeah, so let's give our panel a round of applause.